Good evening. Starting with the disappearance of his wife over 30 years ago, eccentric millionaire Robert Durst has confounded prosecutors and detectives from coast to coast. As the murder suspect, they could never quite make a solid case against, until maybe now. Tonight, Durst is behind bars in New Orleans, awaiting extradition to Los Angeles, where he faces charges in one of those cases, the murder of a friend back in 2000. It's a case that may have been solved in part with millions of TV viewers watching. An HBO documentary that chronicled the Robert Durst story, providing a stunning twist to a long and sordid tale. Our Stephanie Gosk was in the courtroom for his first appearance today. Stephanie?
Good evening, Lester. Well, Robert Durst was escorted into the courtroom. He was handcuffed, shackled, in an orange jumpsuit. The 71-year-old is waiving his right to an extradition hearing, but prosecutors here in New Orleans are threatening unspecified new charges against him, and it could slow down that extradition. Accused of murdering his close friend Susan Berman in her L.A. home nearly 15 years ago, Robert Durst's attorney says his client is not guilty, and they are eager to prove it in court.
We're frustrated because the local authorities are considering filing charges on him here and holding him here. We're ready to go to California and to have a trial.
A police report obtained by NBC News indicates the 71-year-old was found with a Smith & Wesson revolver. Officers were warned he was armed and dangerous and a flight risk. The arrest took place just hours before the dramatic conclusion of HBO's documentary, The Jinx. Director Andrew Jarecki confronts Durst with new evidence that could tie his handwriting to a note sent to police by Susan Berman's presumed killer.
I wrote this one, but I did not write the Godiva one.
Durst goes to the bathroom, seemingly unaware he was still being recorded.
There it is. You're caught. What the hell did I do? Kill them all. Of course.
Is this a confession to 3 murders? His wife, Kathy Durst, who disappeared in 1982 and was never found. The Texas neighbor who he was acquitted of murdering in 2003. And Susan Berman, who authorities say they were getting ready to question in his wife's disappearance. Jarecki says his team didn't discover the audio until 9 months ago, more than 2 years after the interview. As the series unfolded on TV, Jarecki told ABC News he became nervous about his own safety and last week called the police.
And I was saying, I'm uncomfortable, and I have security. I've never had security in my life. My family's uncomfortable, and I feel that this arrest should be made.
Today, Jarecki and fellow producer Mark Smerling said they wouldn't comment any further because they are now likely witnesses in the trial. One of Kathy Durst's friends is praising their documentary while having mixed emotions about the case.
I am totally thrilled. It's not going to bring Kathy back, but I feel vindicated, and I also feel that, it's been such a long time in coming.
Authorities fighting to extradite Durst back to California may disagree. The LAPD would not confirm any connection between the new evidence they say they have and the documentary, and so far there's been no explanation for why Durst was arrested the night before the final installment of that series aired. Lester?
Stephanie Gosk in New Orleans, thank you. Cynthia McFadden is our senior legal correspondent. Cynthia, we don't know the entire case the prosecution has, but what about that statement made in the restroom? Admissible? And what about the 2 envelopes?
Well, Lester, the unsatisfying but truthful answer is it depends. Remember, Robert Durst has the money to hire the best lawyers in the country. He was represented by the same team today that he was when he was acquitted of murder in a case where he admitted to dismembering a body. So, having said that, the audio for the bathroom, the lawyers are most probably going to argue, was not a confession at all, but rather the kind of mutterings we all do under our breath, which aren't necessarily truthful. The prosecutor is going to say that should be up to a jury to decide. As for the envelopes, probably the prosecutor is going to have to prove a chain of custody as well as get some experts in there about handwriting. On balance, I suspect the judge will likely admit both pieces of evidence, but I have to tell you, legal experts are really divided on these 2 questions.
All right, Cynthia McFadden, thank you.